Good evening. My name is Ray Rivera, and this is my presentation. So, when I first did my initial essay, I chose the title Treading Water because I felt like since I hadn't been in school for such a long time, coming back to it, I was going to be overwhelmed and that I was scared that I wouldn't be successful. So at the time, I started questioning, am I capable? Can I do this? And when I started messing around with Khan Academy and questioning my learning from when I was uh, a youth, I decided start start trying to study, start building that kind of discipline. And so far throughout my semester, I've been treading water. But I felt like I wanted to title it. I wanted to give it this title. So when I first did it, I just needed to elaborate on a few things. The main body was good. I just needed to fix up my citations. And my interview was, in hindsight, it wasn't the best, but I've learned a lot from it. And I've learned how I can make it better, how I should try to, excuse me, try to find someone who's like, I should have gone with like a math teacher, someone who does that, but in college. I did talk to a math teacher, and that is going to come out of my podcast. Um, but they were teaching in elementary, which I still think was good. Um, but yeah, I could have organized my interview much better. And also, my citations weren't exactly the best. I mean, they were good citations, but I didn't put enough, I didn't elaborate on enough of the credibility. And since I've made my revisions, I will show you in the next piece here. Since I've made my revisions, I was able to clarify what my driving question was. So, as you can see here, I apologize. Computer keeps freezing. So, as you can see here, I wanted to clarify what my driving question was. Why is it so difficult, and why is it hard for us to learn it and to retain that information? So that was my driving question. And as I went further down, I decided to elaborate more on Sal Khan's credibility. So I talked about how he has 2 degrees from MIT. Then later on, he went back to the Harvard Business School to also get another degree in MBA in that. Then I went with my quote. After the quote, I went ahead and I searched for a pedagogy on Google Scholar, and I found an article that was talking about students and teachers that were using Khan Academy in the classroom and how it made um, children felt more independent in their learning and that, like they could have a better understanding. And I think that's important. I think in school we're usually told, hey, you're gonna learn this or you're gonna do this. We never really know why. And fortunately, in my English class, learning some of these things actually helped me in another class that I felt was hardest of all. So, anyways, I used that documentary, or sorry, I used that article, and I've moved on. So I had my citations, then I decided to polish up my interview. and everything in the main body is generally the same. But when I got to my interview questions, I really wish I would have had this kind of format before I went into the interview. So that's something I learned is that, I can have like a he said on the left and then a she said on the right. And the next time I get to do an interview, I'm going to use something like this. As you can see, there were more questions, but that is something that's really helped me out. And of course, I added more to my citations. So, as for my citations, um, I've learned how you have to add the author first, then what the article was, the subject, and then when it was published. And I've gotten the hang of it. I think I'm gonna get better at it in time because this is all a lot of it is very new to me. It still is a learning curve. Um, and for interviewing someone, as I said earlier, I would like to use that format if I have to do it again. I know I'm going to do it again, but I'm gonna feel more confident this time around. And also crediting the sources. Fortunately, one day when I came into class, we got the plagiarism scare. When I looked at my assignment, because I thought I plagiarized, I didn't, and that was a huge relief, especially for it being my first time working on that assignment. So I felt good about that. Like, I think I have an okay handle on crediting sources, but there is room for improvement. And something that I want to show you in my next piece here was so this was actually from my comms class whenever this loads up. So whether it loads up or it doesn't, I've been having a lot of issues with my computer. Um, Basically, I had to do an outline for a speech that I had to give, and I chose the Second Amendment. I felt it was very ambitious, and um, although so this was my outline, this was my rough draft, and you can tell that it's bad. Um, but then when I show you the new outline, way better. It's a night and day difference. And I remember at one point when I was in your class, you were telling us about how, you know, you were showing us quotes and authors, writers who, when they showed their content, it wasn't very good to begin with, and they just kept doing it over and over and over again. In my mind, I thought when you're in school, you just I don't know why I always thought it just had to be perfect from the get-go. I don't know if I'm even making any sense right now. This is my second amendment. This is my first outline in my comms class. As you can see, it was poor. Put about one sentence for everything. To be fair, she did tell us that we're gonna have to elaborate more when we give our PowerPoint presentation. So if in my mind at this time I thought less would be more. Um, but that wasn't the case. I learned that lesson. And here it is. You notice I called it the horrid version because I think it was really awful. So, this is my final outline that I submitted just a couple of days ago, on Tuesday, as a matter of fact. Well, as you can see, my attention getter was a lot bigger. My audience relevance, which was also another thing that I know that you talked about in class too. So, from there to my speaker credibility, as you can see, it just looks a lot more attractive. And then I used my sources. I was able to cite right there. And yeah, I mean, this was a pass for me. So or at least as far as I know. So I'm really happy about that. And for my Nexus events, I'm sorry, what's going on here? You working? Come on, man. So to carry on, for my Nexus events, I really liked I really liked being able to go back in time to when I was growing up as a kid and why I didn't like math whatsoever. I think it was never really a thought that crossed my mind when I was growing up. So I did like that, and I was kind of proud of this, I guess. It looked really nice, and I talked about my views, and I still stand by that. I still have enjoyed learning. I do stand by that. It covers more aspects of my adulthood. Um, Reading has always been easy for me when it's things that you like to read, of course. Um, Writing the same, and I really like this potato. That was funny. But yeah, this was my first Nexus event. This was like the first time I ever got to, really question myself and challenge myself. And I remember when you told us about your troubles that you had with reading. So it was encouraging. I really did listen and I took a lot of it to heart. Um, but after that, so I think this was actually pretty funny. Again, whatever this was. I want to pull up the podcast and show you. Um, no. Okay. Oh, come on, man. I'm just gonna leave it there. So I actually like doing this. Something I've liked about the class so far is that one, I've never actually interviewed anybody, and I took a lot away from it. I learned some good things about that. Um, Even though I think it was horrid on my part. Um, Well, also doing a podcast for this assignment, I thought was pretty cool. I hung out with I met up with a friend of mine. We went upstairs, and he's a teacher. He has another friend who's a teacher. I'm not going to say names or where they work, but we we pretty much just chilled out and we drank some beers and when we talked about education and learning, especially math, and I disclosed, some of my own insecurities about it or how I felt when I was a kid, um, they were very understanding. And my friend, he even opened up about a couple things too when he was in college. But other people in the room who were listening to us also felt a really strong incentive to want to chime in. And it just kind of encouraged them to like, well, hey, this conversation's really good. Let me put in my 2 cents. Like, yeah, I saw this growing up, or yeah, I felt like this. So I think in a way, the podcast, although it was a school assignment, it was just a little bit more than that. It was like it was kind of therapeutic for some people. It was like this catharsis that we had, and I listened to the to the podcast, and um, I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice, and I was nervous, but it was kind of fun, and it kind of brings back a nice little memory for me. Um, but yeah, yes, I really liked this, and so this is my 3D artifact, of course.